that you can find something of this nature in a free script writing software that you can't even find in most professional softwares. That is why for me, this is simply the GOAT. This is simply one of the best free softwares you can find out there. And when I say free, I absolutely mean free with no strings attached. In this video, I am going to be showing you an absolutely free way to write professional scripts, and I totally mean free and no strings attached. Unlike the previous video I did on the cell text, which you can click here to watch, a lot of the complaints were that software is no longer free. And so with that at the back of my mind, I decided to select something now which isn't cloud-based, so that you can download it and keep it, so that even if you are watching this video in the near future, or you still want to refer to this video in the future, you can always come here and still download that same old copy, even if the app now becomes new. I have links to that particular app in the description below, so head there right now to download that software so you can follow along. And the name of the software is Trelby. Trelby is an absolutely free script writing software that has very professional features that I like so much. This right here is Trelby, and this is how the whole interface looks like. After installing it, you do not need to enter any other information, and just like any other professional script writing software, we have a total blank space to work with. And straight away, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the interface, what we do have here. And as usual, when you look up here, we have our regular toolbar where you have file. When you click the file, just the normal file stuff will open, and then when you come to edit, as usual, just like most Windows application, all the edit stuff are there for you to actually explore, and view carries the same similar weight. And of course, you also have the script here. And one thing that I like about the script side is that you can actually turn on auto completion, which means that when you start to type something, this is more or less like AI based, where the software would predict, or at least try to understand what exactly you are trying to communicate, and it will help complete the sentence for you. That is what this whole thing is all about. And then of course, it gives you a chance to be able to write title, or let me say the title pages and all that, and also spell check, which is very important when you are writing a script of this nature. Especially, I like the title page because once you click on the title, let me click on it right now, it's going to give you the chance to be able to enter the name of the script and also put in the name of the writer and the contact information, just as you would find on professional softwares. And I like the fact that this is a separate window that you can open to do all of that in here. And then you have reports where you can find out how many characters, general reportage of exactly what is going on in the script. You can know who is saying what, how many times a character appear. And for me, this is one of the major things that for me, if I want to call a software professional in terms of script writing, I look out for. So what we have been doing at OBL Studios is to pay actors based on the number of times they appear in a movie, or let me say in the script. So just by having the script alone and having the reports, we will be able to tell exactly how many scenes the person is featuring in. We can actually separate just the person speaking, just the dialogues only, and not waste our time featuring the action segments. And that's exactly how you can go about this whole thing. And then of course, the tools are also here, the spell checker and all that. And one amazing thing about this software that I haven't even seen in some of these so-called big standard softwares is this name database. And I don't know how they did this, but this is absolutely mind-blowing that you can find something of this nature in a free script writing software that you can't even find in most professional softwares. That is why for me, this is simply the GOAT. This is simply one of the best free softwares you can find out there. And when I say free, I absolutely mean free with no strings attached. We have different countries. We have Germany, you have Indian, you have Russian, you have French, English. Immediately you click on the country where you are, it's going to give you a suggestion of names from your country. And all this is from the computer. You don't need internet connection for any of this thing. This software actually resides on your computer. Everything is there and not external. And that is one amazing thing. So you just go through, select your country, or probably you are writing a script and you need a character from another country and you are not too sure of the names from that particular country. You can use this list and find any suitable name from that country. And as you can see, any country you select over here, you would see the name of the person, and then they will still tell you the country or where the person is from, and they will tell you whether it is mostly used for males or females. Come on guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. And for me, as an African, I was shocked because I did not know that I can find Ghana. And once I found Ghana, I was shocked that I found Ghanaian names on this particular list. So I double click on Ghana, and once I click on search, it's going to load Ghana over here. And as you can see, I have plenty Ghanaian names over here, and name, then the type, of course, which is Ghanaian, and then the sex. It will tell you whether that's a name for female or male. We have Abebio, Abeku, Abna, and sometimes I'm shocked with the level of names I can see. We even have Ajua over here. We have Efe, we have Ajay, we have Ajman, and we have Akosua, Ekia. It is really amazing, guys. Dufi, Efua, Ebo. It cuts across lots of the tribes living within Ghana. And for me, this is simply amazing, especially if you're a stranger and you are writing about Africa or you are writing about a specific country. And so most of the times what I like to do is that after finding the name, you go and Google and find out what exactly the name means before you add it to the script, because for our part of the world, once again, names always foreshadow the character or maybe tell the characteristics of the person. So names aren't just random in Africa, or let me say most African traditions, names actually have a meaning. So that is one reason why I feel like this is the absolute best free softwares that you can find out there. And of course, you can find the manual, and of course, also just clicking on the about will give you all the various informations. And to the left over here, we have the new script. When you click on this first one, it's going to give you the new script. And of course, one of the tricks for most of these softwares is that once you hover your mouse around, the small combo box will appear over there. Then it gives you a short description of what the thing is all about. So when we bring it over here, you see open script. This is to open projects that you have already written or projects that you've worked with in the past. And of course, the next one is save. Just your regular usual Microsoft Word stuff or just Windows stuff that we are all used to in most cases. I mean, those of us who use Windows. And then of course, close script. You can also close the same script by using this. Just like most softwares, there are two ways of doing the whole thing. And of course, here is script settings. When you click on it, it's going to ask you whether you want to change or load anything over there. This allows you to be able to print your PDF or save your script out as a PDF so that you can send your script now to your reviewers, or if you are sending it straight to your actors or whoever you are sending it to, you can send it in a PDF format. And for me, this is one of the prerequisites, because in my research up to this video, I have searched and I combed online so many times, and it's not easy to find softwares like this. And even on YouTube, you find lots of videos that promise you free, and only for you to get there and realize that it's not free, or probably it's just for one project, or there is always some form of caveat attached to it. But with this, it is absolutely free. And that is one amazing thing about this whole thing. And so you can also import text and all that, and also export your script. And of course, your traditional undo and redo buttons are all here. This particular feature, I didn't know it was important until I had a specific character name. Then when I was done with the script, I decided that no, I have a better name now. Let me change that name to this particular name. And that is where this thing came in handy. I just had to use it to search for that particular name. It should search for it throughout the whole script, and then I just wrote what it should replace. Then it went through the whole script and replaced every single time that word was spelled that way, or when the name actually appeared. This is simply amazing and basic stuff. And like I said, if you're used to your regular Word, these kind of things are normal. And of course, you have the view mode. You can toggle it to have a full screen and all that. All those things are there. And then of course you have the script reports, and then you have the tools here, and then you have your global settings. So basically that is just what this whole software is all about. And then over here we can see what exactly we are writing. Is it the name of a scene? Is it an action? Whatever that we are writing, all those things is definitely going to appear here. And we can see whether we are on page 1 or page 2. This is where you have all the page count. And here we are saying that action is to enter. And over here is also telling us that we can use the tab to shuffle through all the different types of arrangements that we have here. So for example, over here, we want to start our scene and want to write, let's say, exterior about something. So we do EXT, then we do our usual dot. So as I was typing all of these things, you realize that here means scene. So we are talking about the heading of the scene. So now that we've written our scene heading, we just press enter. And then as you can see, automatically this changes to action, because this is more or less like AI. It simply understands that after you write a scene heading, automatically the next step you are going to do, or the next thing you are doing, is to describe exactly what is going on in the scene. And I like the fact that the software has this feature, because all the professional softwares, Final Draft, Caltex, all have this feature inbuilt. So for example, we can describe that, two students are playing football. Kojo, which is all in caps because that's the first time we are seeing the person in the script. And I'm not going to go over why certain decisions are taken. If you really want to understand the details about exactly the formatting of scripts, everything I said in this old video up here still works, so I will encourage that you watch it out. Even though the software Caltex is now a paid one and only offers you just some free tokens to be able to use maybe some 3 projects before you pay, I still think that is why I'm giving you a new software. However, the principle or the core principles of how script is supposed to be written and formatted, as I elaborated in that particular video, are still very relevant. So please head up here to watch it, or go into the description below after you finish watching this video to get a full grasp or to fully understand a script writing format as I share in that particular video. So Kojo, a young man in his early 20s, is on the lover's bench, right? So when I give this kind of description, the next thing I do is to click on enter. And immediately I click on enter, it's still telling me action. But at this stage, I really want to start writing the character, or let's say the name of the characters. So what do? On my keyboard here, there is this button called the tab. So when I click on the tab, it will shuffle. And as we can see right now, it's telling me character. We want Kojo to talk. So we just write Kojo. And even with this one, whether I press the cap lock or not, it knows the formatting that anytime you are writing a character name, which is when a character is about to speak, in that particular circumstance, the name is written in caps. So automatically, whether you press your cap lock or not, it's going to write it in caps. However, in the description, you have to manually write it in caps, especially if that is the first time the character is appearing in the script. So once we click on enter, as you can see, it has changed to dialogue, because it knows that once after writing the person's name, the next thing you are writing is supposed to be what the person is supposed to say. Descriptions are formatted to the left, and then scene headings are also formatted to the left. Then name of characters are formatted to the middle, and then dialogue is formatted to the middle, but a little bit to the left. So these are things you don't need to keep in your head, and that is the advantage of using softwares like this, because it does all the work for you. So now let's give Kojo some words. Maybe good morning guys, how are you? Right, this is what Kojo says. So immediately we click on enter, it gives us another character, or it takes us back to character, because it knows that once we click on enter, then somebody is supposed to respond. However, it is not always the case, because maybe if people are silent, we may want to describe what's going on. So if you can click on tab, it takes us back to action, so that we can write an action exactly what's going on. So we say no one responds. All the students keep looking at him. He repeats again. Okay, so we go to enter, and then it still tells us action, but in this case we want Kojo to continue speaking. So we click on tab again, and then we start writing Kojo. So once we write Kojo, we go in, and he says, I said good morning. Didn't you guys hear me? All right. So this is how the whole thing looks like so far, and we can continue going. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is that by the time you are done writing this whole script, you should be able to save it out, because like I said, most of these softwares out there would either add some watermark or something, but you are not going to get that here. When we are done writing this whole script whatsoever, all we now need to do is just to come here to say print via PDF, and then it's going to ask us how we want to do that. So we can say open with protected mode disabled. And so once we click on this, it is going to take us to another software where we can view that particular information. And for me, that is one thing I don't really like so much about this particular software, because it tends to open other PDF readers for you to be able to read PDFs outside of the software, which I don't really get it, because I was thinking the software would have been made in such a way that you can view everything in there. But hey, we can't ask for too much, because this is an absolute free software, and we really need to say kudos to all the developers who actually put together this amazing piece. So I rather prefer to come here and then export the script. Just say export, and then you see save type PDF, and then you can go to whichever part of the computer you want to go and save it. And then once you save it out there, you can go there and open it, or you can send it to your team or whoever you are sending it to. So that is how to use Trelby during your productions, and I just hope this has been very helpful. And like I said, if you want to download the software, head on to the links in the description below to download the software for free, and you can keep it. And because this is not cloud-based forever and ever, I'm sure we can all be able to use this if we don't have all the money to spend in writing a script. Now that we are out of this part of the video, in the next step, I'm going to be telling you exactly how you can go about writing a script like this